Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my full face of Becca Cosmetics. As you know, in September this month, unfortunately Becca Cosmetics is going out of business and they are shutting doors for good. So I thought today we'd do a full face of Becca Cosmetics to symbolize the end of an era and do one more last hurrah for the company. So I'm really excited because we've got a ton of things that I haven't yet tried yet, and there's a ton of things that were quite popular and viral, such as the shimmering skin perfectors, the highlights, the under eye corrector, and so many more things. So if you're curious to see this video, then just continue watching. So starting off with primer, I've got this kit that I haven't yet tried. This is the Becca Wake Up Kohl Kit. It's got two products in here. It's got the First Light Priming Filter and the Shimmering Skin Perfector Spotlight in the shade Moonstone. So I thought we'd start off with the primer today. So here is how the primer comes packaged. As you can see, it comes in a purple squeezy tube. This has got 15 mils of product. This is what the texture looks like. As you can see, it's a purple color and it's quite runny. So I'm first going to rub that between my fingers and I'm going to pop it on my skin. It's got a really nice light scent. It almost kind of smells like Starburst almost. It's a little bit of a sweeter scent, which I actually like. It's really, really lightweight and I can feel that it's absorbing into the skin really nicely. And then while we're here, I thought let's try out the other product from the kit. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Spotlight in the shade Moonstone. So it's got a double-sided doe foot applicator. So I'm going to take that straight onto the top of my cheekbone, above my brow, down the bridge of the nose, and the cupid's bow. And then to blend it out, I've got this brush left from this kit here. This is the Real Techniques Deluxe gift set, and I want to use this brush right here, which is called the Tapered Foundation Brush. And I'm going to start blending it out. So for foundations, I've actually got two foundations to try. The first one is the Becca Evermatte Shine Proof Foundation in the shade Olive. And the second one is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation in the shade Light. So I actually thought today we'd do a little bit of a battle. We'd do half and then half and we'll see how they wear. So starting off with this foundation, this is once again the Becca Evermatte Shine Proof Foundation in the shade Olive. As you can see, it comes in a brown squeezy tube with a little window here so you can see the color. This contains 40 mils. On the back, it says an unmatched matte finish. This medium coverage foundation features unique spherical polymer that absorbs oil so your complexion remains fresh and shine free throughout the day. Suitable for normal to oily skin, and I should shake it before use. So I'm going to go right ahead and do just that. It actually sounds a little bit runny, so I'm curious to see what the texture is going to be like. So to apply that, I've actually got 3 different variations of the same brush. This is called the Becca The One Perfecting Brush. I'll open it so you can see what it looks like. These are so cute. I mean, look at these. So the whole idea is these are meant to be used for foundation, for concealer, for powder, for contour, for blush, pretty much an all-in-one brush. So I think we'll use one of these for one half and then the other one for the other half. So I'm going to start by applying some of that on the back of my hand. This is what the texture looks like. So I'm going to start by taking one of the brushes and applying that straight into the product. And I'm going to start applying it to this side of my cheek. For some reason, I thought it'd be a little bit weird to apply foundation with a brush kind of in this shape. But funnily enough, it doesn't feel weird at all. It's very, very smooth. And it's not leaving any weird streak marks anywhere. As you can see on my hand, it's maybe a little bit dark for me, and it definitely is drying down quite matte. So that little bit of product on the back of my hand is already completely set. And then moving on to the other side, we've got the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation in the shade Light. As you can see, it comes in a glass bottle with a brown cap. On the back of the box, it says, veil your skin with foundation coverage that feels water-light while it evens and perfects the complexion. Each weightless fluid drop imparts subtle luminosity that blurs imperfections and creates a soft, focused glow. In a range of flexible shades with light, buildable coverage, Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation imparts a healthy, natural glow. Once again, it says, shake well before use. So I actually thought this was a pump, but it turns out when you start to open it, this little button pops up right here. So I'm assuming you press that down and then I think, is it a dropper? It's a dropper. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna close it up again. Yeah, you guys, that is so satisfying. Oh, so I'll open it a little bit, press the button all the way down, and then that is as much product that gets filled. So you can kind of see it's about maybe a sixth of the way full. Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm going to take that on the back of my hand. So that is what the texture looks like. Once again, that's the shade Light. I'm going to take my second The One Perfecting brush and tap her straight into the foundation. And then apply her straight onto this half of my face. This one has a little bit more of a scent. I didn't notice a scent or a fragrance with the first one, but this one maybe smells a little bit more paint-like, but not too bad. The coverage on this is actually really nice, but you can see for sure the colors are completely different. I mean, if I'm being honest, I think that's probably even dried down. It's definitely dried down, maybe 2 or 3 shades. So if anything, we're going to look a little bit different in terms of color, but if we ignore that, we can still have a look at how they compare. Okay, so here is how the skin is looking with that amount of product on both sides. As you saw from earlier, neither one of the containers were a pump canister, so it's hard to determine how much product we've actually got on the skin right now. I'd say approximately it's about a pump and a half each side. As you can see, they're very different foundations. They've got completely different colors and completely different claims. So I think what I'm going to do is not compare them against each other, but see them as 2 completely different reviews. But we'll start off on this side here. As you can see, I would say we're definitely quite matte on this side, with the exception of that glow that you could see from the primer combo, but I'd say we've got about light to medium coverage, and definitely the color's a little too dark for me. And then on this side right here, I don't know if it's the color that I'm liking a little bit more, because you can see it matches me a little bit better, but I actually feel like this side looks a little bit smoother, a little bit more even, and I actually don't mind that kind of subtle glow that is all throughout the skin. It definitely doesn't look greasy or oily, it just looks really smooth. So I'm going to build up one more layer on both sides and I'll come back. So I'm taking a little bit more product on the brush. As you can see, it definitely does dry down because that center portion with wet product is definitely a few shades lighter. And I'm going to build it up mainly around my cheek. And then I'm doing the same thing to the other side. And mainly once again popping it around the cheek. Okay, so I'd say that's about 2 or 2.5 pumps on each side. So you can see I only built it up pretty much around that cheek. I wouldn't say it's full coverage, but I'm noticing some of the parts are getting a little bit darker than others. Like for some reason around this blemish, it's definitely looking darker and a little bit patchy. So I'll be honest, I'm not loving that so far. But this side here, I definitely seem to be preferring. As you can see, that healthy glow that we've got going on is quite pretty. And it did seem to build up really nicely around my scarring too. So far, this one is winning. But let's move on to concealer. So before we put on our concealer today, I really want to try out this product right here. This is the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector in the shade Light to Medium. I have heard the best things about it, and I've had this in my collection for way too long, and I cannot wait to try it out. So before we apply our concealer today, I want to try this corrector. So here is what the packaging looks like. As you can see, it comes in this really beautiful copper jar, and then I'll open it up so you can see what it looks like. It is this really beautiful light pinky salmon tone, so I think that'll be perfect for my under eyes. So to apply that, I'm going to grab my Real Techniques 211 Deluxe Concealer Brush, which looks like this, and I'm going to go right ahead and take her straight into the pot. And I'm going to start applying that underneath both of my eyes. And then I'm going to blend it on top of the eyelids as well. So here's how the corrector looks on its own. As you can see, it really does brighten up that area really nicely. So let's move on to concealer. So for concealer, I've got this one here to try. This is the Becca Ultimate Coverage Longwear Concealer in the shade Linen. So here's what the concealer looks like. I feel like it's definitely a lot lighter than it looks on the box, but this actually has some information on it, and it says a water resistant full coverage concealer that instantly and fully camouflages under eye circles, blemishes and discoloration. The Longwear formula harnesses light technology to blur imperfections and diffuse the appearance of fine lines, and a blend of antioxidant vitamin E, squalane and manuka honey to nourish skin. The weightless formula helps maintain skin's natural moisture balance and effortlessly blends into skin for a smooth, satin and even finish. Swipe and go for all day #ultimate confidence. So that's what it says about the concealer. So the concealer comes with a doe foot applicator, which looks like this. It's actually slightly flatter than normal. So I'm going to take her and apply a little bit right here and out here. And then I'm going to take the same brush that we used for the corrector to help blend it out. It's a really thick concealer. So to set the face, I want to try out this powder right here. This is the Becca Hydra-Mist and Set Refresh Powder, which looks like this. On the back of the box, it says Set and Chill. A loose refreshing powder that dots on like a mist and sets, perfects and refreshes makeup for a silky smooth finish. Formulated with 50% water plus glycerin, this powder creates a mist-like sensation on the skin. Ultra fine, light reflecting powders float over the skin to smooth and blur the look of fine lines and imperfections. I tell you, the words on the back of these boxes gets me every time. That sounds amazing. So here is what the packaging looks like. As you can see, it's got a silver lid with Becca written on top, and then the powder is like this kind of soft pinky color, so I'm excited to give her a go. So on the inside of the package, it comes with a little note right here that says keep me close to keep me cool, and then when you open this one up, it's actually got a little tab that protects the product, and then it's got some paper on the inside. And then on the inside, you can see it's a little mesh trampoline that the product comes out of. So I'm going to apply that to the skin using this brush here. This is the Zoeva 110 Face Shape brush. So I'm going to tap her straight into the powder. She is flying everywhere. I don't know if you can see that. So you can tell it's a really finely milled powder. And then I'm going to start setting my under eye. I can see what they mean. That is so weird. It feels like water. Like it feels like my brush is wet. Like it actually feels almost kind of wrong. It's so interesting. What a weird sensation that is. But as you can see, it maybe darkens the concealer a little bit, but it's just such a weird consistency. Like it just feels literally like I'm applying the powder with a wet brush. Like you can see how matte that powder is. Look where I literally just pressed that brush. It's definitely quite mattifying. And then to set the rest of the face, I'm taking that same powder on the Dose of Colors powder brush, tapping her straight in there. And then I'm going to start setting the rest of my skin really lightly. So here is what the skin is looking like now that it's been set. I definitely think I actually prefer this side still. I think that little bit of luminosity from the foundation or even from that highlighter product earlier just looks really radiant and healthy. This side is just looking a little bit patchy. I just don't know how I feel about it, but so far I do think I really like this powder. I think it was really smooth and it was such a cool sensation, which is a good thing because I picked up a backup. So once this one is finished, I will have this one to play with. So I'm happy with the way that the complexion is looking, so I think I'm going to move on to my cheeks. But in case you're curious as to the other Becca products that I won't be able to try out in this video, I think I'm going to do a Becca collection video next. I'll film it maybe after this video, and I'll be able to walk you through all the other Becca products that I won't be able to try today. So if you're curious about my collection, when it goes up, I will put the link to it up here, but we'll move on to our cheeks. So moving on to bronzer, I wanted to try this one out today. This is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Bronzed Bondi. I've actually tried out one of these in a previous video. I tried out the shade Ipanema Sunset, which came in this palette, which is called the Sun Chaser palette. So I'll show you the color of the Ipanema Sunset one that I've tried before. It looks like this. As you can see, it's a bit of a warmer toned bronze. And then here is the shade Bronzed Bondi. So you can see it's a little bit lighter, but they're still both in that kind of warmer, reddy undertone. So to apply the bronzer to my skin, I'm going to use my Real Techniques Duo Fiber Face Brush, which looks like this. So I'm going to take her straight into the bronzer, and I'm going to start bronzing up my cheeks. I actually really like this color. I think because it's got that little hint of like a red, it looks super, super natural. So I'm actually building up the bronzer quite strongly on this side to try and kind of match the depth of the other foundation. So you guys, for cheek palettes, I've got so many different options. You can see there's cheek palettes, face palettes, highlighter palettes, collab palettes like Jaclyn and Chrissy Teigen right here. There's so many different options. So again, keep an eye out for that video and I'll show you my entire collection because this is not even it for all of my face palettes. On top of that, I've also got some loose highlights and some cream highlights as well. So you can see there's a stack of these. I also picked up a ton of Duochrome highlighters and the Champagne Splits from Jaclyn Hill. And then I also have a ton of these shimmering skin perfectors. A lot of these were limited edition, but I have been collecting these for so long. They are so beautiful and I just can't wait to eventually try out all of them. But I think today I really want to try out this palette right here. This is such a throwback palette. I know a lot of people have this in their collection. This is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill Champagne Collection Face Palette. Look how beautiful this packaging is. I actually picked up a whole other backup, so I'm very excited to finally try her out. I'll show you the inside. Oh, that's nice. On the inside, it comes with a little sample of the backlight priming filter, which I'm pretty sure is the one that we used today. And then this is what the inside of the palette looks like. As you can see, I'm trying to show it to you without blinding you, but it comes with 3 different blushes, Champagne Pop Highlight and Prosecco Pop Highlight as well. So I'm very excited. Let's start off with this highlighter right here, which is called Prosecco Pop on the Real Techniques Angled Highlighter Brush. And I'm going to start highlighting my cheekbones. I'm also going to pop some above the arch of my brow, down the center of my nose, and the Cupid's bow. And then for blush, I want to go into this shade right here, which is called Rosé Spritz on the Real Techniques cheek brush, which looks like this. And then apply it to the cheek. That is such a pigmented blush. As you can see, a little tiny bit went such a long way. I'm just slightly tapping that powder brush over the blush just to kind of blend it in a little bit better. So I've zoomed you guys in so we can start on the eyes, but I think the only true eyeshadow palette I have is this one right here. This is the Becca Après-Ski Glow Collection Eye Lights palette. So I think it's the only true eyeshadow palette that I have in my collection, because I had this one and I actually thought this was an eyeshadow palette because of the size of it, but I read the back and it actually says a collection of 5 Becca bestsellers designed to add light, lift and touch of color. So it's got the shimmering skin perfectors in the shade Moonstone, Rose Gold and Topaz, and the mineral blushes in the shade Wild Honey and Flower Child. So unfortunately, I don't think this is an eyeshadow palette, but for some reason I thought it was. So I think mainly today we're going to use this one right here and perhaps maybe use a few of the bronzers if I don't have a few crease shades. So let's get started. So here is what the packaging of that palette looks like. It is so pretty. It looks kind of frozen. It is such a cool concept. So here is what the inside of the palette looks like. As you can see, they're pretty much all shimmers. I do like the look of this kind of warmer red burgundy color and then this really beautiful soft gold. But I think I'm going to go into the bronzer just for a crease shade first. So I'm going to go into the same bronzer that's on our cheeks. Once again, this is the Sunlit bronzer in the shade Bronze Bondi on the Dose of Colors blending brush. So I'm going to tap into the bronzer and start popping that through the crease. I'm going to take the exact same bronzer on the Zoeva 223 Petite Eye Blender and I'm going to tap back into the bronzer and apply it to the lower lash line. So going into the Après-Ski Glow Collection Eye Lights palette, I'm going to take this beautiful burnt red here called Hot Cocoa on the Real Techniques Base Shadow Brush. I'm going to tap straight into that and I'm going to start applying that to my outer corner. So I just wiped off that same base shadow brush and I'm going to tap into this beautiful gold down here, which is called Topaz. And I'm going to pop her on the inside. And then to highlight the inner corners, I'm going to go into this shadow here called Moonstone on the Dose of Colors pencil brush. And pop that right on my inner corner. So yeah guys, that is everything that I owned from Becca. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to pick up some liquid liner, mascara, brow products, or even lip products, unfortunately. I didn't get time to pick them up, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup and we'll come back so you can see the finished result. So I finished off the rest of my makeup and I thought I'd let you know what I applied. So for my liquid liner, I used the KVD Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper. The mascara I'm wearing is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes Mascara. My brows are this combo right here. So I've got the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Brow Pencil in the shade Rich Brown. And the brow gel is the Tarte Colored Clay Tinted Brow Gel in the shade Black Brown. And then my lip combo is this one right here. So this is the Dose of Colors Desi X Katy Liquid Velvet Lipstick in the shade My Main. And then on top of that, I've got this lipstick right here, which is also a Desi X Katy collab. This is the shade No Shade. So it's a really beautiful muted nude. So yeah guys, this is the finished one brand tutorial featuring Becca Cosmetics. I had so much fun creating this. Again, I'm so sorry I didn't have a liquid liner, some mascara, brow products, or lip products from the brand. I just didn't have time to pick them up, but I hope you guys enjoyed it nevertheless. If you did, then you guys know what to do. Please feel free to leave me a like, comment and leave any requests that you have down below in the comment bar, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell and drag it all the way down to all to become a part of this family and be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. This month in September, unfortunately, Becca... Oh, I knew I'm going red. Goodness. There's something itching my nose. I don't think that got it, but that's fine. That's fine. Twist cap until bottom. It says squalene, not squalane. This is the finished one brand tutorial featuring Tarte No, Dems.